I go to youth centres. The Sudanese Youth Centre in somewhere northwest London, they have a football club for young boys, and I went to speak to them about modern slavery. You see, we always forget about the youth, and I think that's where the change will come from. Social media, a very important weapon. Again, the youth. My kids keep sending me videos about horrible African parents, so I know they are using social media. You know, it catches their attention. And and I'm talking from the African perspective here. One of the amazing things is storytelling, because culturally, that's how we transfer important information. It's always been like that. So if we have people sharing their stories, lived experiences, people believe something when it's coming from the source. So anybody who's gone through that, we've been in rooms where people have shared their stories and people have been in tears. In tears. I will never forget Manchester sometime last year, and this lady stole my friend, and when she shared her story, the whole room were in tears. And that's how change happens. Let people know how much it's affecting the victims.
Recording in progress.
And this is how change will happen. And there wasn't a single person in the room who wasn't moved by the lady's story. And I think it's important that we keep sharing those stories, and we keep using social media where we can reach the youth, where schools, curriculums. Anybody has influence in the education system, please. Let's talk to kids. What's it called? PH, that subject, citizenship. Citizenship. Are we talking to the kids about? My kids have never spoken to me about that they learn this. But I ensure I talk to them, because charity begins at home. I can't be in public spaces and talking to people about modern slavery when my children don't understand it. So charity begins at home. Are we talking to our children about these serious stuff? When I was at university, the first time I heard about modern slavery, exploitation, and was through my business ethics module. And I was shocked. Well, I was surprised, but I wasn't shocked. But I knew in the 80s and the 90s, certain organizations, I won't mention any names, certain organizations had actually started a fair trade in Ghana, where I'm from, in Ghana, to buy shea butter, cocoa products and stuff like that. So I didn't know the relevance of that because I didn't understand it. And then I found out, okay, that's why this is important, because these shea butter ladies are being paid fairly. They can put their children through schools. These farmers do have certain scholarships, so their children can go through school without any stress on the parents. So it made their life better by being farmers, by being shea butter ladies. In Turkey, I spent 3 years in Turkey, and there were ladies who were producing the traditional carpets, which I bought a few, and in collaboration with a German charity through one of the universities, they were being paid fairly for their work, and it changed their lives. And I've seen this so many places, and this is important to what Emir is doing through the supply chain. How are we paying these people? What conditions are they with? Are we changing their lives because they work for us? What are we doing as human beings? So what do I do when my kids go to the shops and they're buying chocolate? They go, this hasn't got a fair trade symbol on it, we're not buying it. And this is the change we want to see. I'm not saying everybody should be signing up to fair trade. All I'm saying is, let's see who's doing well, who's doing the right thing, so we'll spend our money with them. There are certain places I wouldn't spend my money simply because they're not ethical. And that's how we change the world. So I've spoken about education system, social media, digital outreach, workplace and business action, our homes, partnership and community networks like us and you. You know, I probably every engagement I go to at CAMSA, I always bring it up. Last week we were in Shoreditch, I touched on it. There are so many types of vulnerabilities. Domestic violence. If you look deeper, there are so many things which makes a person vulnerable, and it can have links with modern slavery as well, and even domestic servitude. So all those things, you know, we need to understand, not just the surface and the deeper understanding on how all these links and affect people negatively. And also, I think we need to train everybody to recognize the signs. I went to St. Mary's University, a research-based event, and one of the presentations was hidden in plain sight. And I think it's the perfect description of modern slavery. It's hidden, but it's still in plain sight. It's only hidden to those who can't see it. If you know the indicators, if you know the signs, you can identify it. So although it's hidden, it's still in plain sight. So education, training people to recognize the signs. My colleague Marinike is helping train immigration officers on how to identify modern slavery. Of course, they get trained at their initial training, but of course we still need to keep reminding them that, you know, this is still important and this is still on the cards. I've mentioned about media and storytelling. October, Anti-Slavery Day. What are we doing on those days? Are we screaming enough? Do we have enough events? Are we talking about it enough? You know, all those policy advocacy. When there is a policy like the human rights, you know, are we talking about that? Are we trying to get more people to sign up to maybe compliance? Another way, support survivors. I think this should have been number one for me. Yeah, I don't know how I put it so far low. It should be number one. How do we support survivors? I said earlier, in the immigration enforcement world, we see them as victims. We have a person-centered approach. We look at the person. And I have to reiterate, it does not always, you know, lead to having an immigration advantage. But I still say to people, at least you are alive and you're free. And that in itself is bigger than anything else. Oh, if I stay in this situation, I can get my indefinite leave to remain or British nationality in 5 years. I said, you don't know where you will be in 5 years. Well, if you're not here, what would you need a passport for if you're not here? And it's important we break things down because at this point they may not be thinking clearly because of what they've been through. Are they getting the right help? Are they getting the right support? Any counseling? You know, whatever, is it appropriate help for them? Yeah. So my final point here is encourage everybody to take action. And I gave that example with my children. They know who's ethical and who isn't. Does your children know who's ethical and who isn't? Thank you.